a visit to a Downwell Demolition site in London, a look behind the scenes at a West Midlands scrapyard, and an interview with one of the UK's leading attachments hire specialists. All of that and more in this brand new episode of Demolition TV.
So we've bought a Lineback 1400, which is a big beast of a machine for basically chopping up the scrap, densifying it so that it's easier to export. We have more markets, which makes us more competitive, which means we can pay more, hopefully, for the material. What it does for the company is we were cutting 15 tonnes per hour, now we can cut 50 tonnes per hour. So we're triple capacity. So it can be normal working hours, which is great because we were having to put extra shifts on, and we can handle bigger materials, so big girders, the real heavy duty stuff that the old shear just wasn't capable of. This one can just cut through it like butter, which is great for everyone because the turnaround becomes faster, the lorries are tipped quicker, the space is cleaner. It just works for everybody, the suppliers and the customers and us. The investment for the company, for Steve and I, has been huge, and it was probably sooner than we would have liked it to have been, but we came to a point where we were turning scrap away because we couldn't process it, and the demand is there. We can certainly make the sales, so it seems very silly not to make the investment, to make a better product, to be one of the leaders in the marketplace, rather than constantly trying to battle with an older machine that can't quite keep up and can't do what we know it can do. So that's the reason for the investment. And yes, it's a little bit scary, but you know, now we can move on to the next level and we can really provide the service that we know we need to provide. So the machine's called Doris, and that's after Steve's nan. Unfortunately, we lost her last year whilst this was all going through. So we're very much hoping that Nan will be shining down on us and getting plenty of business through. So I think One Stop Recycling are one of the few businesses left that is independent. We can tailor our service to what our supplier needs. Our back office is excellent, so traceability of material. Everything that comes in this yard and everything that goes out runs through a bespoke software system. The tickets for the material are emailed immediately back to the supplier, so they know how much weight on any given day has come in to the company. If there's a problem with the load, it's photographed at source. The photographs are provided to the supplier with the weights. We turn the lorries around quickly. We are pretty much on call, so if somebody has got a special job on and they need to be able to tip their scrap off on a Saturday afternoon, we can do that. If they need to lift a bin over a tower block and it needs particular lifting gear on it, we'll work with them on that. So we're a little bit more bespoke, and that's what hopefully means that we can all earn a little bit more money, because that's what it's all about, really.
I suppose we've been in Bristol about 8 years, yeah. It's an important area, junction of the M4 and the M5, crossroads into Wales, the southwest, back to London, up towards the West Midlands. It's a very important location. We've always been very careful not to, even though we were selling excavators and dealing in excavators for years, used and new, but we always had the ethos that we wouldn't put an excavator out on hire. We've never done that, and well, like I say, never. You have to go back to about '79, and so we provide the attachment to go on the carrier unit, and we don't compete with our customers. That's the way it's always been for Sandhurst. But attachments are the main part of our business. That's our core business, and that's what we're very well known for. At least since we came out of lighting towers, we used to manufacture them, as you know. And generators, but the core business at Sandhurst is attachments. Atlas Copco breakers, that's a major part of our fleet, breakers still, and there was a time where the whole business was based on breakers. We'd have to go back a lot of years now, but increasingly we have a multi choice of attachments. We service the rail industry, demolition, quarrying, public works, all sectors really of the industry. And we really have grown the rail section of the business as well. We have a lot of rail specific equipment, and we also get into purpose built stuff. we're just doing a big job for a large rail contractor. I won't name them just in case they would object, but we're building a specific piece of equipment for them to handle whole panels of rail and sleepers, and 60 feet of rail and sleepers. So it's a fair piece of equipment, and that we're purpose building that for them. We put a lot of trust in them. They've proved to be very reliable, quite well designed pieces of kit. Obviously we had choices, but we prefer to put in our fleet what we already have for sales. So as with Atlas Copco, and we rent it and we buy it and we sell it. So with Zato, we have the agency for them, and they make a really good range of pulverisers and shears. They do a few other things as well, which are quite useful. They do a few special types, like rail snappers, croppers. And also they'll work on designs for us. We asked them for a multiprocessor, and they've built the prototype, and we had it over and we did a video with it for them about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and that'll be out and on the market very shortly. They're a really good company to work with, and it's quality stuff. The quick couplers, certainly, we don't sell quick couplers. I suppose we could have done, but there are people that specialise in those and do a good job. You know, obviously Miller's one of the bigger names, and plenty of others as well. So we buy them in and we use them, but we don't attempt to manufacture or really market those. There's the all-quick type of coupler as well that's becoming increasingly important. We are starting to fit those, the lower part which we can fit onto our attachments. So if a customer's got that type of a quick coupler, we can supply the equipment with the top, with the bottom part of that, so that they can clamp straight onto it. One of our own suppliers, sooner or later, is going to come up with their version as well, and perhaps Sandhurst to be in that business. But I can say that Oil Quick have seemed to have taken the imagination of the market, and then quickly followed by Linhoff, and they seem to be the ones that at the moment we need to run their equipment in order to be able to supply. But there's very few customers yet that have that equipment. So it's not as though we're kind of, we're overrun with demand for it. I think it's about 5,000 square feet of workshop, but that's all. It's quite a small depot for us. It's just consistent with the requirement for the area, actually. Obviously the bigger depot is in Oldbury, just up the road really, and we can service this depot from there. We can resupply quite quickly. So this is, it's not a feeder depot, it's very much an independent depot, and we maintain a fair staff level here and a lot of equipment. But as I say, we can resupply, so space isn't the criteria for us. We're also looking for a feeder depot on the northwest of London, so maybe sort of High Wycombe, sort of Slough or somewhere in that type of neck of woods to be able to run with it as it comes out of London, so that we can service that side of it, and also we're ready on the Birmingham side. Yeah. And of course, with the amount of rail that we get, the demand that we get from rail, it's very important that we can service that. And from Rochester's our southern depot, but of course it's on the wrong side of London for that. It's been in a great position. It was good there for HS1 and for the Channel Tunnel years ago, and all of that work. And even for Terminal 5, it was fine. Well, they were the big contracts. These days we lack in the southeast, so we could do with something big, and we're kind of looking forward to that HS2 thing. Oh, it forms a very important part of our business, really very much so. Yeah, we're in touch with our demolition customers all the time, and we're supporting an NFDC dinner. I think it's in April. We've signed up for one of their packages that they, you get a table for 10 and promotional package, and the banners and posters in the foyer and all that sort of thing. But no, of course we do. Yeah, we advertise in the magazine. We go to their meetings, and Because we're not directly involved in demolition, we're an associate member. We have been for years, and it's a very important part of our business. We give them the ability when they have the requirement to, for the equipment that perhaps they don't run themselves or that they're short of. I mean, that's where we are really. We're a kind of we're an emergency or contingency supply company. We give that facility to that industry and others that allows them to, I suppose, with confidence take on a contract. They can come to a company. There are other companies as well, but they're, if I may say so, they've all sort of followed the Sandhurst model, and we're the originals, and we still, I believe, give the best service. And I think we've got the biggest. I'm sure we've got the biggest range of equipment also, and I'm going to say that we don't run one or two of this or that. When times are quiet, as they have been this year, of course, utilisation comes down, but normally our utilisation is very good with this level of service that we give. We can only give good service, by having depots like this around the country. We've not been involved in manufacturing in a serious production since 2010 when we sold that business. So we're not really a manufacturing business these days in that way. Although we have an R&D department in Alderbury, and as a matter of fact our engineers here today, and we do work on one or two things that we usually then farm out to get made. We don't really get into the manufacture these days. We do the thinking and the designing, and then and it's to do with attachments. We're working on one or two projects at the moment, a pile cropper as one of them, and there's a far more important one which I'm not going to talk about at the moment. There's about 6 people here. And that'll be 3 trucks, so drivers, a couple of people on the hire desk, and we've got one of the chaps in the workshop getting the equipment ready, prepared for the drivers. 7. There's also the manager. Yeah, so 7 people.